Hello, and good afternoon to everybody out there in the internet land. My name is Pioneer, and this is I Am Sure Sports, and this is another, a series around the NBA. We got G Star with us early today.
Yes,
We're
yes, yes,
expecting
yes.
we're expecting a few more guests. All right, we're supposed to be having a special guest, so um, in communication with him as we speak. He should be joining us later. He's on his way home, so as soon as he gets in, he'll join us later on. I'm not gonna disclose who it is, people. We just like to have persons pop up. It's someone who's prominent in the Jamaican society, but a very avid basketball fan, and he has expressed an interest, to be a part of our discussion. So as soon as he's available, we'll have him on. All right, G Star, welcome forward.
Yes, yes, yes. Big up yourself,
All right,
Pioneer.
good to have you, sir, for another, a series around
Mm.
the NBA. This program, ladies and gentlemen, is taking shape as we're going. This is our fifth episode, and we are incorporating new features into our program. We are people who love sports. We love basketball, and a lot of us are also betting people. So we have incorporated a section in our program, and today I'll be doing it at the beginning. Maybe at another time we put it at the end of the program, where we're gonna be giving tips and games, current games, or games that are to be played on the same day we are doing the broadcast. So for right now, we'll be looking at the games that are coming up tonight. G Star, I'm gonna solicit your help, my brethren, in giving a few tips to our viewers as to how you see some games going on tonight. I'm gonna be giving my views to people. So
All right.
we're taking a look at a few games that are gonna be on tonight. Later on the program, we'll be looking at happenings around the NBA, some interesting happenings. We'll be also looking at the trade window, which closes tomorrow. All right, we'll be looking at some trades that happened since our last broadcast, and we'll be looking at prospective trades that we might see happening later this evening or into tomorrow. But we'll start with the games on for tonight. Tonight we have 6 games on. We're going to slide through them quickly, G Star. We have the Cavs at home to the Spurs. How do you see that one going?
I'm not sure if Karis LeVert plays in that game, right? But I think just the energy from the trade, knowing that they're going to be better, plus that home cooking,
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland's playing well of late, right? So I'll have I'll take the Cavs in that one.
Taking the Cavs. I'm going with the Cavs also. They're at home. I'm very big on this Cavs team. They have been doing reasonably well. They are now sitting at third in the Eastern Conference. Fourth, actually, they are sitting at fourth in the Eastern Conference with the same record as the Bulls, who is in third. So for me, Cavs a home game, whether Lavert plays yes or no. I have the Cavs over the Spurs in that one. The second game on tonight, G Star,
Hmm.
is might be a little more tricky. It's the Hornets at home to the Bulls.
Hornets at Hornets at home to the Bulls. All
Yeah.
right, here one. I think this one is is where the better know. This I think this is a game for the better in terms of Hornets are at home, so
Yeah.
Bulls have better odds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because so I'm going to go with the Bulls. Again, give me decent odds, right? I don't even see the stat sheet, but it's probably close. It's probably a pick'em game. Our Bulls probably favored by about 2 points, right?
And
What
ladies and
what say?
gentlemen, this is just around the NBA giving their picks. Has nothing. We are not aligned to any gambling platform.
False.
We're not giving any odds. We're not giving any over-unders. We're just giving our picks for the game. You can choose to do what with this information. That's whatever you choose. You can, for those who like to gamble, if you choose to go out and gamble, then
You
by
have,
all
you have the
means,
spread?
do so.
You have the spread
Um,
on the game?
no,
Right now?
I don't have any spread. I was say we're just giving tips as to who we think are gonna be winning the games.
Just wins.
Uh,
All right, so
just tips
I
and
can go with
wins.
the bull.
For
I
the
can go with the
record,
bull.
people, yours truly have had an impeccable record over the last 4 days. Actually, in the last 4 days of the NBA, I'm 29 from 29. Actually, did well on some betting last night when 8 and a ticket I got about, and was actually
That's
10 of
excellent.
10 on the night picking games. So there's for as I said, for the gamblers, you can make from that what you may or what you will. But this is just something new we're incorporating. We're gonna be using 5 or 10 minutes each time we have this broadcast to just give a few tips on the games that we have. G-Star,
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
am also going with the Bulls on the road tonight. I like the Hornets team, but as I said, for me, they're a team that doesn't play team basketball. We're getting into the business end of the regular season now. I think the Bulls will want this win tonight, and I'm also going with the Bulls. Third game on the schedule, G-Star, is the Thunders at home to the Raptors. How you see that one going?
All right. I think the Raptors are on a roll still, and if the rumors are right that they're going after Miles Turner, that means they're feeling good about themselves to make a push, right? A push at the
Yeah.
championship, push a title contender. I don't know, but it's a push, isn't it? So I'm gonna go with the Raptors, and then who are going against the Thunder? The Thunder, they're one of the worst teams in the NBA, so I definitely have to go with the Raptors there.
All right. So we again we are aligned, G-Star. I'm actually going with the Raptors in that one. Toronto is looking to work their way up the schedule, up the standings. They're a good team. I like the core players. I like Fred Van Vliet and Pascal Siakam. I'm very big on OG Anunoby. For me, it's
Don't forget the rookie Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes who is playing, like he's a rookie of the year candidate. So Toronto for me over the Thunders. Fourth game on the schedule, G-Star, is another tricky one.
All right.
It's Utah Jazz at home to the Golden State Warriors. How do you see that one going, my friend?
All right. Yeah. That's a good one. And I'm hearing that Clay is out, right? Is Donovan
Yes.
Mitchell back?
Donovan Mitchell has been back for the last 2 games.
Okay. So that makes it a whole lot more interesting, right? But my take is that the Warriors have found a secret sauce, right? And
Yeah.
I'm talking about just the chemistry, is what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. They have a secret sauce, and I think that will be on display tonight. I think I'm seeing Steph get close to double-digit assists in a lot of these games recently, right? So I personally, as a Warrior fan, I love that from Steph when he takes on that playmaking role, because he gets more people involved. And so Steph at 18, easily I can see Steph going for 30, 35 tonight. And then the bench has been playing exceptional. Utah, I'm hearing there's a little rift between Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, it's a rumor, but they haven't been playing up to scratch. I mean, a lot of that has been Donovan Mitchell being out. But at the end of the day, though, I have to go with the Warriors. That they have a 9-game winning streak, and I think they make it 10 tonight.
And ladies and gentlemen, you see, all of these things that you hear G-Star mentioning are things to be considered when you're gambling, or if you're just picking winners for games. And like you, G-Star, I'm going with the Warriors. The Warriors have a 9-game winning streak, as I said, going now. I think they are trying to keep up with the Phoenix Suns, who are now 3 games ahead of them. A win tonight cut that by a half a game, so there will be 2.5 games ahead of them. They are trying. I think the Warriors would love to finish atop the West. Give them probably a more favorable playoff first round competition, although there's no given, considering that there might be a Clippers or a Lakers coming out of the play-in. But I think the Warriors are on a roll, as you said. I think with or without Clay, I think they have enough firepower to go into Utah and get a win. It's gonna be a close game for me, saying Utah has a shot, but for me, I am going with the Golden State Warriors. The fifth game, G-Star, is another touchy game, if you ask me. Both of these teams played last night, so both teams are on a second night back-to-back. It's the Sacramento Kings at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves.
I think that you're probably going to have to go with the T-Wolves in this one. Here's why I said, yeah, because the players that were traded not playing and the players that they're supposed to get, they probably haven't passed their physicals yet.
That's for Sacramento.
Yeah, the players coming into Sacramento, whoever they got from that, Sabonis, they got Sabonis, right? And Drew Holiday's brother, I forget his name, Justin Holiday, I think it's
Justin Holiday or Aaron Holiday.
Yeah, I think it's Aaron Holiday. But anyway, in any case, so they'll be short of those players, right? So missing Buddy Hield, Halliburton, plus not having Sabonis, that's a depth deficit, right? I didn't see Anthony Edwards. He wasn't playing last night, right? So I don't know what happened there, and I don't know if he will play tonight.
He was playing last night. You sure he wasn't playing last night?
I didn't see him on the box.
Yeah, man, he did play last night. He played in the game. He didn't. He up to a point, I think he only had 2 points in the game.
You sure?
Yeah, man. I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game, but I was checking on the stats.
All right. So here what? If Anthony Edwards plays Pioneer, then it's a no-brainer. If Anthony Edwards played last night and everything is all right.
Actually, it's the same. They played the Kings last night. It was the same game.
Yeah.
They played the Kings at home last night, so they are actually playing the second night.
Oh, it's a home and away series.
No, it's not a home and away either. They are playing last night. They were at the Kings, and tonight they're at the Kings again. Anthony Edwards actually played last night for 26 minutes and scored.
How many points did he score?
At 5 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. A little bit.
Maybe that's what I never noticed.
I saw him having a monster dunk at the end of the game, somewhere close to closeout time of the game.
All right, so here what? So Pioneer, that makes it a no-brainer. That makes it a no-brainer decision. Minnesota, that's an easy pick.
That's
D'Angelo is back.
Russell played last night,
Yeah, so it's an easy pick.
So this is almost like a playoff. This is almost like a playoff series playing on the same court 2 nights back to back. Last night D'Angelo Russell had 14 points last night. Karl Anthony Towns had 25. They got good production off the bench from Beasley, who had 21.
It would be for the Sacramento Kings to win this. It's going to be a Herculean effort.
All right.
Trust me, Minnesota's a decent team.
I'm going with Minnesota too. Even though if I had any doubts about a game, this is the one. Because playing the same side, the same team 2 nights straight, tides could change a bit, especially considering that the Kings are on their home court. I've never seen this, by the way, but I've never seen this scenario in the NBA. I'm not saying it has never happened before, but I personally have never seen where 2 teams played back-to-back nights on the same court. I've never seen this, but I will be rolling with
COVID. It might be a COVID makeup game, but obviously maybe
that's a makeshift, and it's probably a game that was postponed earlier due to
maybe
due to
that's
COVID. So they're just taking the opportunity to get another game out of the way. I'm rolling like you. I'm rolling with the Minnesota Timberwolves, even though as I said, if there is any doubt for me of these 6 games as to which, I would be a little doubtful or a little, hesitant about it to be this game. But I'm picking the Timberwolves. But the Kings could spring a surprise tonight and win this game. The sixth and final game on the lineup G-Star is 2 teams who actually are on a second night back-to-back also. They played last night. It's the Portland Trail Blazers versus the Portland Trail Blazers versus we have a guest in our stream here. We have Chris Lynch joining us. Welcome forward, Chris Lynch. Hold on, Chris Lynch, jump out for a second. I'm sure we'll be back in a little while. The Portland Trail Blazers hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Who will play for the Lakers tonight? I'm not sure. Second night back-to-back. The Lakers had a somewhat of an embarrassing loss last night to the Bucks, and we'll be discussing that game later. Give me your views first, G-Star. I have a few things to say about this. I'm not sure who will be playing for the Lakers. I don't know if LeBron James and
for me, in my opinion, speculation, I think everybody will play. All right, I think LeBron will play, AD will play, and plus, I haven't heard any news of AD not playing or LeBron not playing.
I haven't heard any other.
And you have to figure that the role players, they're going to play, like the Trevor Arizas and those guys will miss back-to-backs.
Question for you, G-Star. Will Russell Westbrook be playing tonight?
Of course. Why wouldn't he be? Yeah, man.
All right.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's it. Russell Westbrook has played in all of the games for the Lakers.
Every single game this season.
Yeah. So I expect Russell to be playing in this game. Right? Will he play well? That's a different story.
All right.
No, for the game itself, there's no way. There's no way the Lakers are losing this game. So I think that the Minnesota is a sure pick, and the Lakers versus Blazers is a sure pick. Again, no Dame, no CJ, no McCollum. Like, it's gonna be like D-Leaguers and Simmons out there, right? So, and the Lakers, they desperately need a win, right? So they can't afford to rest LeBron and AD for a soups game like this. Isn't it? They need this win in the win column. So at the end of the season, they're out to the playoff or the play-in, or they're in the play-in and not out to the playoff.
We have a couple of guests joining us. We are welcome for the first time to around the NBA. We are welcome the Godfather himself, Diego. Diego is in the stream with us, people, joining us. Let me add him to the stream right now.
There you go. No, I'm seeing myself. No, I know I'm on. Yeah.
And we have Chris Lynch who has joined us. We're expecting another guest or 2 people. So we have a special guest who we want to bring on. He should be joining us in a little while. Diego, I don't know if I heard the tips we were just giving.
No, but I have those 2 as sure pick based on G-Star. But I just wanted Lakers and Minnesota have us 2 sure picks. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, well, all right.
Yeah, that was pretty much the last things we said, yeah.
All right, well, you said as a sure pick. Minnesota as a sure pick, Diego. I have Minnesota for the game, but I don't know if I'd consider it a sure pick. My reasoning, before I get to the Lakers game, let me just reiterate what I said earlier about the Minnesota game. Minnesota and Sacramento, Diego, are playing for the second night back-to-back on the home court of Sacramento. I've never seen this in the NBA.
Yes, Pioneer, let us chime in. The Kings, the Timberwolves that are
I don't know, Chris Lynch. Chris Lynch will be back with us, people.
So as I said, Diego, I always say Pioneer, you don't have this as a sure team, because
I'm not. I think for me, all right. If there's any game that I would be a little doubtful about, our picks earlier, that this would be the game. Second night back-to-back on a home court, I think fortunes could change. I can see the home team trying to do something a little different that might affect, the fortunes of the game. I still have Minnesota as my pick, Diego, but not as sure a pick as I would have the Lakers to be tonight. I have the Lakers as a sure pick tonight, as G Star said earlier in his analysis, and his analysis was spot on. I cannot see the Lakers losing this game tonight. If the Lakers lose this game tonight, heads are gonna roll for me.
When we say sure, you're willing to put your money on it. So from doubt now, then. But I was saying, is it because of DeAndre Russell not there, or because is Sacramento that tough? I have Sacramento as a very weak team.
No man, the Kings have some formidable players.
Yeah, Darren Fox is back.
Darren Fox is back. Harrison Barnes is a decent.
Dangerous boys, yeah.
Yeah, man. Harrison Barnes is decent. They traded away probably who I consider their best player, Halliburton. Liked him. But more Harkless.
You're not considering the fact that Anthony Edwards had 5 points last night.
And I would expect that tonight. Great.
He's going to come out super aggressive. Because no scorer likes to score underneath 10 points.
That's a good point, G Star. I would be rolling with it.
Hold on then, because I hear you. I like to hear G. So you're saying G Star, you have Minnesota sure like how you have Lakers?
Not as sure as the Lakers. The Lakers is the surest pick of the night.
Okay.
Right? But for me, my next best sure pick is probably this Minnesota game for me.
Okay.
All right.
I was telling you guys earlier that it's the second time this season that the Timberwolves basically getting a back-to-back like this. They did it at home with Detroit. Okay. They had a back-to-back game with Detroit at home. So they're away now to the Kings doing the same thing. I don't know Pioneer, but like I say, I've never seen it.
So our picks, gentlemen and ladies, in review. Let me take it in the order. We have the Lakers over the Blazers, even though the Blazers are at home. We have the Timberwolves over the Kings, even though the Kings are at home. We have the Warriors over the Jazz, even though the Jazz are at home. We have the Raptors over the Thunders, even though the Thunders are at home. We have the Bulls over the Hornets, even though the Hornets are at home. And we have the Cavs at home being over the Spurs. For the betting people, that should make an interesting ticket. They're talking about 5 away teams to win. And
hold on, no Pioneer.
Yeah.
We know you can give a prediction, but when you're talking to Dago now.
Yeah.
Talk about the spread.
Yeah, and the sure picks. So
right.
you've only given me one sure pick, and so has G Star, because he doesn't equate Minnesota to the Lakers. Give me out of those, how many of them do you equate to the Lakers? Because I have the Lakers as a sure pick too.
I have the Cavs as a sure pick, David. Cavs over Spurs for me is a sure pick.
I would say that one is a sure pick too, yeah.
All right, the other games are a little tricky. The Bulls Hornet game is a little tricky for me. Hornets are at home.
That's what I thought.
Bulls is the better team. Hornets are at home. As I keep telling people, Hornets doesn't play team basketball. The Bulls
they can beat anybody though. The Hornets can beat anybody.
The Hornets on their night can come good and beat anybody. Diego has left us. We're going to proceed into some conversations regarding happenings in the NBA last night. And I think I should start that with Zara. So let's start with the Bucks versus the Lakers last night, that game last night. We'll look at the game itself. We look at what happened post-game in the interviews. And we look at the benching of Russell Westbrook, which is, which has been a talking point throughout the sports media in the US all day. All right, so G-Star, I'll start with you. Let's give me your overview on the game, how you saw the game, and
yeah, the game.
Yeah.
All right. For me, the game, it was a flattening. It was a massacre, right? I don't even know what the final score was, but at the end of the day, for the Lakers, to me, it was an embarrassment. And for the reason why I say it's embarrassment, and sometimes they throw that word around too often when you lose a game.
Embarrassment.
But yeah, but for me, it wasn't a talent thing last night. For me, it was an effort. I don't see 5 players on a string defensively. I'm seeing closeouts that like improper closeouts and 2 players going to this player, and so maybe that's miscommunication, right? So there's that. So there seems to be a chemistry issue, right? So defensively, the Lakers have to get that sorted out. On the other side of the ball now, with the Bucks, I basically just saw a well-oiled machine, right? They're the NBA champions. They have chemistry. They've been playing together for what, a year and a half. Some of them 2-3 years now. Players like Pat Connaughton, the brother Grayson Allen, he's coming in, playing some nice ball, playing within himself, right? So they know what to do offensively. They're playing unselfish. I think I heard they had 31 assists last night, right? So how do you keep up with that? If you're the Lakers, you have to keep up offensively. So let's go back to the Lakers for a second now. So the Lakers are trying to keep up offensively, but do they have enough shooting to keep up offensively? Can LeBron drive that engine for 48 minutes?
We're looking at just the game, though, Chester. We're just looking at
what. But this is within the game. No, but this is within the game. All these things are happening within the game, right? So I thought that Giannis dominated last night more than anything else. The defense was deplorable for the Lakers, so that didn't really give themselves a chance, no matter how well they played offensively. And then to the Russell Westbrook. All right, I'll give Chris Lynch to talk about the game.
We'll talk about Westbrook later on. Chris Lynch, tell me, I don't know if you watch the game live. Tell me your views on what happened. If it was a game, actually, if there was a game, well, I don't know if we could describe that as a game. Some people call it a massacre. Some people said it was a beatdown. How did you see it, Chris Lynch?
Yeah, it was a massacre early in the game and to the end, until the Bucks basically eased up a little, and then when the Lakers came within 10 at one point, all I see the Bucks do was go back to what was working early. Giannis, the enforcer in the paint, shooting jump shots, and they just start sharing the ball more. Because what happened was the Lakers closed it to 10. They were on a 23-9 run, and then that's when it looked like they could come back with probably 4 minutes and change leave, but that wasn't going to happen. You just didn't feel that. You didn't feel that in that game that they were going to come back. When a team is in control and they look that part. When the Warriors were in control of the game, and you just knew that. Not because a team come close. They're going to get a minute. It was just it was expected. I think the LeBron alluded to that also. It was expected. The Lakers are in no shape and form to come up against such a good team as the Bucks.
For me, the Lakers continue to be to have what I call defensive deficiency. They play little or no defense. The drive, the blow-bys, the cuts to the basket are uncontested, unguarded. Basically, as teams in the league have said about the Lakers and their defenses here, that when you're playing the Lakers, you get whatever you want. We saw that last night. The Bucks were clinical. It was dunk after dunk, layup after layup. A 3-pointer here and there when they needed it. Giannis was 17 from 20 last night. At one point, the Bucks were shooting like 70% from the field. It was a beatdown and a massacre last night. The Lakers are in a spot of bother. For me, though, what was most disturbing, I will just segue into this. was well, obviously everybody kind of knew. For those who didn't know, Russell Westbrook was benched for the last 14 minutes of the game last night, so he didn't play for the end of the third quarter, and he played absolutely no time in the fourth quarter. He had in that short space of time, he had 4 turnovers, about 10 points, 5 assists, 10 rebounds. I think he was 3 of 11 from the field. 0 of 1 from the 3-point line. Continued to have a dismal shooting night. Was poor on defense as he usually is. Had 4 turnovers in that time. Can't blame Frank Vogel in benching him. I think the Lakers, the body language of the Lakers last night for me said that they have gotten somewhat fed up and tired of Russell Westbrook now. There was a point in the game last night, at the end of the game, where LeBron and AD was on the bench, where we saw Russ trying to offer some support. I don't know what he was trying to do. He was trying to G them up or something. His hand was on LeBron's head. His other arm was on his other hand. Was on,
you want me to tell you what was said?
Give me your opinion.
No,
It's
he said it
in the press conference.
In his post-game interview.
Yeah.
Right? So what he said was, he's, cheering them up, keeping their head up, and he was saying that he's sorry or something like that, that he couldn't help them because he wasn't in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's basically it. So he's saying, I couldn't help you guys last night. The coach never called my number.
Yeah, but Frank Vogel has said it. He's going in. Come on. If you have a
he
player,
didn't help
if
in
you have
26 minutes.
And ironically, the run that they made, Chris Lynch, was while he was on the bench. They made that run because when he came out of the game, they were down by about 27, I think. And after that, they had that 29 to whatever run it was. But as I said, Chris Lynch, the Bucks always looked in control. Even when they cut it to 10, I think Giannis hit a 3 to take it back to 13, and then it was just cruising for the Bucks after that. The Bucks look like a dangerous unit. As I've been telling people that when I look at the Bucks this season, they're a team that are pacing themselves. They have been to the promised land. They want to get back there. So what they're doing, they're not expending a lot of energy in this early part of the regular season. They are well situated on the standing. And they are basically looking forward to the playoff. They have health. Everybody's healthy. They started the season with a couple of their players being banged up. Everybody's back now. The whole gang is back and everybody's looking healthy. Jrue Holiday, Middleton was spectacular last night. The man who is playing some inspired basketball for me is Bobby Portis. I like what Bobby Portis is doing. He's filling that role left by Brook Lopez quite well. We don't have a timeline on Lopez return, but when Lopez comes back, the center position will be well covered with a Bobby Portis and
Brook Lopez.
So dangerous team. They're going to take some beating in the East, but that is to come and that is left to be seen. There was an interview with LeBron James after the game where he basically acceded to the fact that his Lakers team was not in the class. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Diego back in the stream with us. Welcome forward, Diego. We have kind of moved on a little bit from the betting tip, Diego, but just for your purpose, we're going to get back to that further in the broadcast. We spend another 5 minutes closer to the end of the broadcast to deal with. Let's get back to the breakdown of our picks that we made earlier.
Yeah.
All right. LeBron James basically said, gentlemen, that his team, his Lakers team, was nowhere close or not in the caliber. You're not weird. The Milwaukee Bucks are. How you view that statement, G-Star? I've heard persons in the international media space saying that that was him waving the white flag or basically throwing the towel on the season. How you view that?
All right. Here's how I view it. There's an angle, as Chris Lynch knows, or as Chris Lynch has mentioned, that LeBron is saying this as a cue to management to get better players, right? So he's not really satisfied. So he's being passive aggressive through the media. So there's that theory or that line of thinking, right?
Mhm.
But and I'm saying even if that line of thinking does exist, LeBron James is the captain of that team. LeBron James is the leader of that team. So what you're saying to the team is we're not good enough. So if there's no trade, we can't win a championship. And I'm saying for the general, the general can't be when he's talking out loud, even if he thinks it in his head.
Can't be showing that kind of weakness to his soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I totally disagree with you guys. Disagree.
Even if he thinks it in his head, right? You can't go out to the troops and tell the troops, yo, you know what? More than likely, we're not going to win this war.
You never said that.
All right, just give a second, Diego. We're gonna come to you next. Get your views. Get your views.
Yeah, so that is my.
You interpret it as. I see.
All right.
Just give me 1 second, Diego. Just give me a second. Let's give a second, Diego. Let him finish his view.
That's fair. So if he's saying that we can't get to that level, that means that if we play Minnesota, if the Lakers cannot get to the level of the Milwaukee Bucks, that means that if they see Milwaukee Bucks in the finals, they cannot beat the Milwaukee Bucks because they cannot get to that level. That is mathematics.
All right, we heard it loud and clear. Diego, you said you view it a different way. Let me hear how you took that statement from Labrador.
What rubbish of interpretation with G-Star.
All right, so go ahead.
Yeah. Because you have the facts now, Pioneer. What is Milwaukee Bucks record?
Much better than the Lakers. I'll give it to you in a little while.
All right. So what he's saying is simple this. It's a motivational. What he's saying, we are nowhere near to this team right now. But we have time for the second season. So what do you want him to say? We're just as good as the Milwaukee Bucks, and then people just start upping. Or you just have
no, he didn't stop doing that, Diego. You're missing the other part.
The Milwaukee Bucks are 35-21 on the season, Diego. They are presently sitting at second.
Diego, what you're missing from the quote. Diego, what you're missing from the quote, he didn't just say we're not on the same level as them right now, They asked him, can you get to the level of the Milwaukee Bucks?
Yeah, that was the second part of the question.
So that means that we cannot be as good as the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
So talk about that part.
Yeah, because again, you're like a child now who taking something literally and don't understand who LeBron James is. And he has AD beside him, two of the greatest players in the game. So my interpretation is that, listen, it's a motivational thing. Because
it could be.
Can I finish now? In can say we're at their level. When all about the people just laugh, oh, you're at their level and you are 21 and 30, and they were 31 and 21. So to me, what he's telling people, listen, that's where you want to go. And he has to take it there because he has, when you don't get, he has probably the top 5 great player beside him. So I see totally different. Why would LeBron James? LeBron stop playing basketball then? If what G-Star said.
No, but he's not what he said.
Hold on, Diego. You see, that is why when you make such a vague statement doing it, that is what you're opening yourself to various interpretations. Because like we are doing
but Pioneer.
Hold on, give me a second.
Hold on, Pioneer. So it's simple now. Me as a pro LeBron man, I see positive. The haters them now who want to find something for hate, like G-Star, I go come with something like that.
All right. As I said, when you make a vague statement,
I'm trying to help you guys. There's a next statement to that thing that you didn't say. I'm trying to help you guys.
Give us your views, Chris.
What he went, not my views, what LeBron went on and did was say that because Milwaukee is the champion, whether he means it yes or no, but this is what he went on in that same press conference and did just after he's answering this question. He's saying anyone, when the Lakers won the championship, would have think the same about them, that no one could have got to the Lakers level.
We heard that.
So basically
he's saying the person who's at the top of the mountain, everybody aspires to get to there.
And if you're not there, you're just not there. So that's
Alright.
why I know that obviously two things. He's calling for a trade. Because I've seen coaches come out and say if players play like this, we cannot win. So LeBron is saying the same thing. We cannot play like this and win. And that's a fact. So all I know dressing rooms are pioneer is that AD doesn't think that LeBron quit on him. Malik Monk doesn't think that LeBron James quit on him because they have been productive. So LeBron James doesn't quit on those two players, you know. But he's saying everyone else look like a movable piece. And something needs to be done for us to get to a level.
So you're saying, Christine, that what he was saying. Give me a second, G-Star. What you're saying is that what LeBron was effectively doing was sending out a message to the backroom staff at the Lakers and the management that, listen, we need to get to these people to the box level, so a move needs to be made.
I believe, because he's saying I believe I can get to the level. Are we at the level now? No, we can't get to it. That's what the games have shown. LeBron didn't need to come and tell us that they're not at that level either. The games, even if they didn't play the Bucks last night, the games have shown us that they are really not even close to a level that people don't even think they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to probably bow out at the play-in tournament or something. So obviously not at the level.
It's not looking too good.
I don't want to do on this, but Diego.
Yeah, G-Star, you want to say something?
When LeBron James says to the media in Cleveland, we're a top-heavy team, okay? What does he mean by that? When we're top-heavy, we're top-heavy. Do you remember that?
No, I'm not going to remember what's going on in Cleveland. You have to go remind me now.
Okay, but in Cleveland, he said that we're top-heavy, meaning that we have 3 very good players and the rest of the team is garbage. So he said these kind of things before. That's my point.
As it stands right now, what is certain, gentlemen, is that it's not looking good for the Lakers right now. As it stands right now, they are 26 and 29, 3 games under 500. There are 4.5 games outside of 6, which would ideally put them into the automatic playoff spot. They have somewhat of a weak game, as we alluded to tonight, but after tonight's game, the schedule gets a little tough for them. They have the Warriors on Saturday. They have the schedule. I looked at the schedule earlier today. Going up to the All-Star break, and immediately after the All-Star break, they have a pretty tough schedule. So if the Lakers don't get it together, it might not be looking good for them. Westbrook, for me.
Hold on. Can't be like people put their money. Are you guys questioning whether they make the playoffs?
The playoffs are
is that the doubt you on G-Star mind?
All right, listen, Diego. As it stands right now, I think I think they'll make the play-in, considering that 10 teams are.
So I believe the Lakers will be in the playoffs. For me, the Lakers will be in the playoffs.
Top 6.
Fine,
they'll be the top 6.
No, but either which way.
So hold on, G-Star.
Yeah.
You answer my question. Once you believe the Lakers are going to be in the playoffs, if LeBron James and AD and his players are healthy, if you understand basketball now, the playoff is a totally different season. Now, how can you see two of the greatest players that ever played the game and don't see that they're a dangerous team once they go to the playoffs?
Can I give my views on that, Diego? Let me give my views on that, Diego. All right. So basically, the playoffs and the play-in are 2 different things. The top 6 automatically makes the playoffs. All right. So I'm saying to you now, Diego. No, but hold on, Diego. I'm saying to you now, Diego, man. Listen to what I'm saying to you.
Yeah.
If the Lakers meet a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves in the play-in, they are gonna get knocked out. I am telling you now, and I'm willing. They are gonna get knocked out in the play-in if they meet a team
like
that
for sure.
No, I am just making a prediction. That's my prediction, Diego.
Well, my prediction is they won't.
We are both gambling men, Diego. So after the podcast, we can do a little thing here. This is concerned. But
you think Minnesota can beat LT, LeBron, and AD?
I do, Diego. Because I'm talking about what I said earlier. They play no defense, Diego. This old and slow Lakers team have a problem keeping up with these young guns. Anthony Edwards, DeAndre Russell, Karl Anthony Towns will be a handful I remember that the playing is not a 7-game series, you know. One game and you're in trouble. One game and you're in trouble, Diego.
We know that.
So I'm saying to you, on a given night, especially if the Timberwolves are at home, they could knock off.
Okay, hold on, no, Pioneer. So suppose they go through the one game now.
Mm-hmm.
And they go to the final game now with the series. Now you give them a chance now because.
All right, so, but this is where it gets sticky for them to Diego. If they were to survive the play-in now, now they come up against the first or second seed. And we're talking about Phoenix Suns and Golden State Warriors. I give the Lakers absolutely no chance against a healthy Phoenix. I give them absolutely no chance against a healthy Golden State team.
This Westbrook thing really getting to you,
No, man, come on, Diego. It's not about Westbrook. As I said,
Diego,
it's not about Westbrook alone, Diego.
Pioneer, as a big LeBron fan, Pioneer is right. The shooting is not convincing, and the defense is not convincing.
What team?
That the Lakers can tip off any one of those.
All right, I understand, Diego. And let me say this. And gentlemen, we kind of a little bit pressed for time. We have maybe 10 more minutes on this broadcast. So we'll kind of wrap up this Lakers thing. All right. Diego, let me break it down like this, Diego. The Lakers right now are a bad team with 2 good players. That's what the Los Angeles Lakers are.
Players, not great.
Two great players. I'll give them that. They are 2 great players. But what we are seeing in today's NBA, Diego, is that chemistry and cohesion plays a big part in teams nowadays. That's why a team like a Golden State Warriors or a Phoenix Suns it's proving to be a very hard team to beat because they have been playing together for a while. This team, the core of this team has been together for like 3-4 years. They added Chris Paul, who was one of the greatest point guards in the history of the game. So this team has been playing together. They play for each other. The Lakers are a bunch of scrap parts that they are trying. I think what the Lakers did in the offseason, getting rid of the Caldwell Popes and the Kyle Kuzmas, they're basically disoriented. It's almost like a dismantle your Benz and you're buying some Toyota, Nissan, and BMW parts, trying to put it back together, and it's just not fitting. Can they get it to fit by now on the playoff? We have 29 games left in the season, Diego, and I can't see it happening.
No, I can understand you saying you don't see them winning, but when you say they have no chance,
it's just a man I speak.
No problem with you in a Pioneer and G-Star. There's no chance thing.
Just a man speaking, Diego. We're not saying that. I mean, Diego, this is sports, man. There's all the chance. I mean, Leicester City won the Premier League. So when we say that, we're just making reference to the chance of the team. But we'll move on quickly because we want to look at the trade. The trade deadline comes to a close tomorrow. And as I said, we're a little bit pressed for time. We can go for another 12 minutes maximum. So since the last time we were here, gentlemen, look, Chris Lynch and G-Star, can you elaborate on the trades that have been made and how we see teams positioning themselves based on these trades and how we see the fortunes of these teams being affected going forward after the trades that have been made? G-Star, we'll go with you first.
All right, so for me, two major trades, right? The CJ McCollum trade for Josh Hart and the Tyrese Halliburton trade for Sacramento. Let me start with that one first. The Sacramento trade with the Indiana Pacers. Now, I always say bad organizations usually have bad management and they make bad decisions. For me, this is another case with the Sacramento Kings, right? I really like Sabonis as a player, right? But Sabonis comes with a price tag, a big price tag, right? And then Halliburton is a second-year player who's a pretty good player, right? So I think Sabonis is a better player, but if you're Sacramento, I'm thinking that, okay, maybe they're trying to get in the play-in game. I'm thinking that must be their mindset to get in the playing game. And I just like when teams have more ambition than setting your heights to get into the playing game, right? So I think Indiana got a very good piece, young piece, but I don't think there's much there in Indiana. I think for the present, this year, the Sacramento Kings will be better because they need an anchor on
Do you see,
offense like a
do you see this move helping them to make the playoffs, G-Star?
to play in. They'll make the play in.
Play.
I think they'll make the play in with
The
this
Kings.
move.
You
Yes.
see the Kings making the play.
I see the Kings making the play in. So I see a short-term improvement, but long-term it doesn't work for them.
All right, a little bit pressed for time, gentlemen. Christian, give me your views now. And Diego, I don't know if you're fully affair with all of the trades that have been made, but I just want you to give me your opinion after Christian give me his views and what has happened in the trade window so far.
Yeah, man. Obviously, like G-Star said, the Blazers are clearing the cap space. That's obvious. That they are trying to reset and get a superstar. They are giving up on this season, trying to get a superstar next season with that cap space. They're going to be a couple that's available. And then I guess the trade with the Kings, with the Kings and the Pacers giving up Halliburton and getting Sabonis. That one, I think a lot of people think that the Kings are just a bad organization and that's a bad trade because Halliburton was looking like a good player. But you have a lot of other trades that don't mean nothing right now because they don't go to a championship team. So the big trade that everyone is looking at is James Harden, Ben Simmons. That one looks imminent and look like it might strike either today or before the deadline, 3 p.m. tomorrow. So that's the big one to look for.
All right, and stick up in right there now. Diego, I'm going to ask your opinion on that. I don't know if you're aware of that trade, but how do you see a trade with that for Ben Simmons and a James Harden from Philly? It is touted that Philly, Brooklyn is asking for Ben Simmons and Seth Curry or Tyrese Maxey for James Harden to go to the Sixers. How you see that? How do you see that, Diego?
Oh my God, that would be a great trade for Brooklyn because let me tell you something. Any player that get mixed up with the Kardashians always have issues, man. So James Harden is one of that. Listen.
Hey,
you don't need
hold on, G-Star. Diego give me views. Hold on.
No, the Kardashian. Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, yeah, but
but Ben Simmons just do a hit and run thing. That's different, man. I'm talking about getting involved, man.
By the way, for the record, Devin Booker is also with a Kardashian. So.
Yeah, what's them seriously them have problems, man? Listen, man.
You'd welcome that trade, Diego. You think Brooklyn
have enough shooters, you know?
Yeah.
You have the Iris, you have the Durant. You see a man who play defense and can defend 1 to 5?
Yeah.
And don't need him to score? I think it would be a great trade for the Brooklyn.
So you think Ben Simmons being at Brooklyn would improve the fortunes of the Brooklyn Nets team?
Easily. But
you agree, G-Star?
My question is, why hasn't he played for Philadelphia? What happened? I don't know the story, so I don't know if you have time.
All right, so let me give you a brief synopsis and what happened. Last year, we know the issues he was having. Not shooting well, not converting his free throws. He was basically mocked and ridiculed. Some persons think that he was the reason why his team lost in the playoff to Atlanta last year because of his refusal to shoot free throws. And there was even a play that he was under the basket for a dunk and refused to go for the dunk because he feared getting fouled because he didn't want to go to the free throw line. At the end of the series, his coach was asked if they think they could win with him. The coach basically said he don't know, which is based some person view that as them the coach throwing him under the bus by saying they don't know if they can win with Ben Simmons playing down the stretch. Joel Embiid also came out, who is the other superstar in the team, and was critical. Now, some people view Ben Simmons as a crybaby. He's viewing it as him being, dissed by his coach and his former superstar teammate. So that resulted in a rift between him and the organization. He has refused to play games. He has been fined for some of the games he hasn't when he wasn't showing up at practice. Now he's showing up at practice, participating in team activities, but not playing in games. So this is where the standoff is at. For me, I would agree with that trade. I think the trade would work better for Brooklyn. I fear Harden being ball dominant going to Philly might affect Joel Embiid's play. It might mess up the chemistry a little bit. I think Harden does well when he is given that free rein, and we have seen that with him being at the Brooklyn Nets. When Durant is out and Kyrie is out, you see a better version of James Harden. I doubt James Harden can play with alongside another superstar. They tried it with Chris Paul, it didn't work. They tried it with Westbrook when he was in Houston, it didn't work. I don't think it has worked very well. I think whatever success has happened at the Nets for me is because of the presence of Kevin Durant and his greatness. James Harden alongside Joel Embiid, I'm a little apprehensive about that. I think that trade would favor the Brooklyn Nets. Ben Simmons would give them different defensive intensity and tenacity. And as a playmaker, take Kevin Durant off the ball. I think in tandem with Kyrie and Kevin Durant, Brooklyn would be a dangerous team in the playoffs. That's just my
It's dangerous with a player like Kyrie still. So
Definitely.
Anyway you go, Maka joke you.
All right, gentlemen. We're a little bit pressed for time. There was a little technical issue why we had to start this broadcast late. We're gonna do this again soon. We're looking at maybe Friday or Saturday. We'll discuss that, gentlemen, to see which day is most convenient for you. But we are gonna go for an early wrap up this time. We are under an hour. But we're gonna wrap up early this time. The trade window closes tomorrow. It's interesting to see what will happen after the trade. After the trade window closes, the complexion of the team. Will Westbrook be traded from the Lakers? When we see this Harden Ben Simmons trade, it should affect, greatly the fortunes of the rest of the NBA season. So we'll give each one of you gentlemen a minute to just gear up based on how to see the league right now, how to see things coming out of the trade window, how to see the fortunes of the team after the trade windows have closed.
Yeah, I think the Lakers are the most desperate team in the trade window right now because LeBron said it basically last night. That's what I get from it, like I tell you, that he's desperate. But obviously they're looking desperate because I just saw that they also had Russell Westbrook to injury list. So he's game time decision to play tonight, which I said
that might be
you guys in a group that
might be a signal,
that can be a signal that I would be surprised.
Something is happening tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, I would think that he doesn't play tonight because they are really looking probably to even leave him there in Portland. But that's what I'm looking for. I hope that can get going, and I'm looking forward to see the James Harden Simmons trade because that looks like it can happen.
G-Star, you're 1 minute.
All right. Oh, that sounds interesting, though, Chris Lynch. I will definitely keep an eye on that. Now, as a Nets fan, I think a lot of this is, for me, is trying to create division within the Nets because Vegas has as the Nets as the favorite to win the NBA, right? With Kyrie, KD, yes, Kyrie, KD, and a part-time Kyrie, and Harden. Sorry. They're still the favorites. So why would the Nets break it up and they're the favorites? So I think that people know that they're that dangerous, so you want to kind of break them down psychologically because guess what? If James Harden's name is on the trade block, no, that's gonna be in his mind, right? And then so I think if it happens, we'll deal with that when it happens. No, the last thing I want to talk about is the CJ McCollum. Hold on, the CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum, I didn't talk about that. In New Orleans, there's Zion Williamson. They don't want to make Zion go. So for New Orleans, I think a lot of that is trying to keep Zion because you'll have Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and Zion. They need pieces around him because they don't want that buzz from Zion to New York. We've heard it from now. So they don't want that buzz to get louder.
Diego, G-Star just mentioned New York, so I'm going to give you the last word. And
you like the segue, Diego?
G-Star.
Yeah.
My question for G-Star is mentioned New York. Because he was saying he's a fan of organizations that make great decisions. So I want to know, the Brooklyn Nets haven't won for about 4 to 5 years. So what great decisions have they made? And they haven't won for 45 years. G-Star, are you just start being a fan today when they get the 3 players?
when they got KD. They signed KD and Kyrie and traded for James Harden. Those are excellent.
We are continuing this conversation. Diego,
They were a bad organization for about 40 years before they became league.
all right. Diego, we are gonna invite you back, my brethren.
Yeah.
We like your input. You bring a different perspective to what we are doing here.
Yeah, man.
Like your presence, brethren, on the thing. So on the next show, we're gonna invite you back. I'll send you the link and you join me. As I said, just in the interest of time, we have to wrap up. Still, as we say, Diego, quick thing. As you had asked, I'll just do this for you quickly. For me, the sure pick games tonight would be the Lakers game and the Cavaliers game. The other games for me, if there's another game I would give a sure pick would be the Raptors versus Thunders game, even though Thunders sometimes prove to be a little dangerous on their court. But those for me are the three games. The other three games for me can go either way. I've made my picks. I have the Timberwolves again, even though it's a little dicey. I have the Warriors. So then I have the Bulls over the Raptors. So those are my picks. But as I said, those I give with a little bit less certainty than the three I gave you.
Well, I totally agree with the three. That's why I called for get a G, just like you to see if you agree with me. But the first three, yeah, but you don't know. We need more than the three if you push the green button.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the persons out in internet land, we give thanks for those who could join. This has been somewhat of an abbreviated version of the Around the NBA podcast that we're doing. We'll be back here. We'll send out the notifications either for Friday or for Saturday. And by then, as I said, the trade window would have been closed. There will be a lot more talking points based on those trades, and some more games would have transpired in the league. And hopefully, we'll have it all and we'll discuss it here on I Am Sure Sports on this segment that we call Around the NBA. Do have yourselves a wonderful evening, and for the gamblers, happy betting. Hope you win some monies tonight, and we'll see you again, as I said, soon on I Am Sure Sports. I am Pioneer.
You got to be in it to win it.
Definitely, Diego. And we are betting people, so we are always striving to be in it. Have yourselves all a wonderful evening, people, and we'll see you again soon.